Welcome back to A Drop of Happy, where we focus on carefree, stress well, light and lively living while reviewing and discussing everything entertainment and wellness. I am your host, Wanda Toby, and this is the podcast arm to my blog, lightevi.com, Litevi.com, and you can find and listen to A Drop of Happy on almost all streaming platforms: Spotify, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, whatever, all of them. So please subscribe, listen, share, spread, all that good stuff. I want to tell you about Deliverance. And I want to talk about it before I forget because I am not watching it again. And I don't say that because it was horrible. It's just not my thing. So Deliverance is currently playing on Netflix and it is starring Glenn Close as Alberta, Andra Day as Ebony, uh Kayla, what is that boy? McLaughlin? Kayla? Oh, I need to look that up because I'm pretty sure I'm jacking up his name. Um as her son, as one of her sons, Demi Singleton as her daughter, Ebony's daughter. Monique plays Cynthia, who's a social worker, and that's her reuniting with Lee Daniels because he was the director, and you know the drama there. Tasha Smith, and I always like seeing Tasha Smith. I know some people are not a fan because she always plays these loud characters, and she's like, I don't know. I guess a lot of people don't like her, but I like her, and I always like seeing her. It's just something about her. Um, she's in there too, but she kind of has a small role. And Aunjanue Ellis, who is a phenomenal actress, she is in there as well. So The Deliverance is a horror suspense that basically follows this family. They move into this house, and apparently there's evil in the house, and they become, well, the son becomes possessed and they just start doing some weird things. And here's the thing, I didn't really want to watch this movie because I'm not really into horror movies anymore. If you've listened to me or read the blog or anything like that, you will know that I used to do horror. Whew, avid, avid watcher. Like that was my thing. uh I don't know, my anxiety, perimenopause, I don't know what it is, but I don't do that. I just don't care for it no more. So will I watch some every now and then? Yes, I will, especially if like my kids prompt me to, when we make it like a big thing and we get together, and I will, but it's not my first choice. And I don't even know how I ended up watching this. I think I watched it because of the cast. Um, I wanted to see Monique because she's actually a really good actress. Uh, Even though I've found her pretty annoying in the past, but she can act. And the cast was just a really strong cast. And I'm not gonna lie, the Glenn Close, I was seeing some Glenn Close memes, and I was like, what? What is happening over here? That's what I was like, sakapasila. Like for real. So I'm like, well, let me just watch it. But it's not my thing. So this is why I say I wouldn't watch it again. But I did end up watching it, and I kind of wish I didn't. Again, not because it was terrible. It wasn't. Um, but it wasn't great either. Like even at this point, I'm still trying to think what rating I'm gonna give it. It wasn't great. And the acting was on point. I'm not even gonna hold you on that. But you would think with like such a great cast, it would have been stellar, top tier. Boom. It should have been, and maybe it could have been. but I had like a lot of why questions. Oh, I don't know why I was saying Kayla because I don't know what I wrote. It's Caleb. Caleb. I don't. Caleb McLaughlin. And I like him. He was in what he played in, y'all. He played in Stranger Things. He was the kid in Stranger Things. And he's played in something else. I just can't remember off the top of my head right now. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Omar Epps was in there. And this well, I'll wait for the spoiler section. Anyway, so one of the interesting things is that this is supposed to be based off a true story. That this family moved into this house and all this stuff started happening and people witnessed it. And this is supposed to be based off a true story. Yeah, they took some liberties, of course, because they changed their names. The mama wasn't white, Glenn Close that came in and played it. So there is that. But let me tell you this. By way of like if I'm looking for a relationship and I'm looking for like some commitment, I want somebody to be committed to me like Glenn Close was committed to playing that role. Because baby, when I tell you she committed, she committed, okay? It was a little weird for me. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a little weird for me. But she committed. um so the acting was on point. The acting was on point. Um the setting, I thought the setting was good because it had this like bleak, dreary type of vibe, which I felt like was a backdrop to the character's situation and what they were going through in life. Like, again, without giving away too much spoilers, the mom, Alberta, was going through her own medical crisis situation. The mom is a complete mess. And the kids, have to deal with that and live with that. So it was bleak. And I felt like the setting kind of complemented that. Um, the pace, and I really didn't have a problem with the pacing and how it flowed. Um, again, some of the things I was like, oh, okay. It was just weird to me. I got before I get into the spoilers, yeah, it was just weird to me. So to give it a rating, I suppose I would give it a 6 out of 10. Like a solid 6 out of 10. Why? Because again, I felt like the acting was on point. Um, the setting, I felt like the setting and all that was well done. The choreography, all that was well done. Some of the special effects I thought were pretty good. Not anything too fancy or anything like that, but it was decent. Um, like like the writing was not terrible, but I had questions. And the pacing wasn't bad. So the elements there were there. I just thought it was weird and it didn't I I didn't as far as horror, I guess as far as horror and suspense, I didn't jump. I was like, okay, it was just regular. So that it kind of, took some points off. Uh I mean, yeah, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Now, um, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna do the spoilers. So, please share. Yeah, I mean, it's playing now on Netflix, and I guess like if you're not doing anything, if you like horror, you can give it a watch. Um, yeah, it's just wow. I don't know what else to say about it except it was weird. Like I cannot describe how I didn't really connect. Again, it wasn't that scary to me. Although, if just that concept of exorcism and demons possessing, I don't like those stories. Like, I get the heebie-jeebies, right? Um, so there's that. I don't can't put my finger on it, but it warranted a six. Please spread, please come back, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us. We are on most social media platforms at Light V, and A Drop of Happy is on most streaming platforms. So if you don't want to do spoilers, don't do spoilers. Peace. See you later. Go listen to another show because we got plenty. Remember to live light, stress well. Now, what can I'm gonna try to give you the gist of the story, okay? The gist of the story is um Ebony moves in. Ebony's dad, I guess, away in the military. They're not really together. And Ebony is apparently a raging alcoholic. And when she does, she abuses her kids. CPS is following her. So, a Cynthia, who's played by Monique, is the social worker that has to come in and monitor them and monitor the situation and make sure everything okay. Because I guess CPS, Child Protective Services, was called on her, and that's not what she has to do. So she moved to try to help provide for her kids. But then we find out, even though Glenn Close plays Alberta, the mother, and she's white. Um, her and her mom clearly don't have a good relationship. Clearly, she was abused and just not good as bringing up, which I guess that's kind of an explanation of why she's a shit person now. Glenn Close has sorry, I'm gonna stop saying Glenn Close, but Alberta has cancer, and she goes to a clinic, to get her cancer treatment. Well, apparently they stopped paying, and because she going to another clinic. Her daughter, Ebony, kept on paying so she could stay to that at that clinic because she liked it, which was a very nice touch. Which kind of showed that Ebony has some good in her and some compassion in her, because not for nothing, she really didn't like the way they portrayed her. It wasn't in favorable light, but you knew there was something there because she did this. It wasn't smart, because honey, how much are you paying and you're not able to pay your bills? Mama can go to a different clinic. The point should be that mama is getting help, that mama's getting the treatment. But she can go, just because she can go to a different clinic, baby. So that wasn't smart. But again, it showed that she had some compassion, because that relationship with her and the mama, very ugly, very ugly. It just, you know. So anyway, so they're in this house, and then they kind of show like the siblings getting bullied, and that's one thing. That's the other part where it shows that she at least cares for her kids, because she goes and kind of hems the kid up that bullied her, and the mom was like, Alberta was like, that wasn't smart, that wasn't a good idea, because you're just making it embarrassing for him. So anyway, to make a long story short, the boy, like, crazy stuff starts happening. The house starts being crazy. Um, the little boy gets possessed. Other stuff starts happening. The kids, by way of the little boy getting possessed, like the older brother tries to kill, like drown the other brother, and almost was successful too. Ebony came and eventually got pushed him off of him. In the midst of this, Cynthia's coming to visit and was just like, yo, I'm gonna do, like, what's up? Let me see these kids, whatever, whatever. Something happens, and so the kids are getting bruises. They think it's Ebony, but it's not. Like there was one incident that happened with the youngest, where I forget what it was. They were fighting or something, and Ebony kind of pushed him. Um, this is what it was. The older one, because he was tired of this mess, tired of living like that. He was getting some money, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna leave." So then they started arguing, and that's how his arm got hurt. So when Cynthia came to visit, the social worker, she was like, "What's wrong with his arm? Y'all acting funny, whatever, whatever." But there was some other bruises that couldn't be explained, and that's because whatever is going on, is affecting them. So then one day at school, they started acting buck wild, like just strange stuff. The girl, like she was bleeding, just acting strange. Then the boy, uh, he was being mad disrespectful to the teacher, which is not like him because he's a really nice kid. This is the brother, the oldest. And then the youngest, I'm pretty sure he flung some shit at the teacher. So then they took him to the hospital, but they checked out and they were like, they're mentally sound. There's nothing wrong. So then they was thinking, no, Ebony, you crazy. Because she's like, nah, there's something wrong with them. I'm hearing voices. Like and you never tell them people what's for real, because they gonna commit you. And they did that. And the kids got taken away. Meanwhile, um, Ellis, the chick, what she played, um, a former pastor, and she comes, Aunjanue, I forget the name of her cat, I forget who plays. She comes and she tells Ebony, well, Ebony, I'm trying to save you because this is what happened. This is what happened with a previous family that lived there, but I couldn't save them. So I'm really trying to warn you and um, let you know what's good, because this is what's happening. So Ebony didn't believe her at first. She was just like, whatever, you bugging. I'm not even entertaining you and entertaining this. So she went about her business. But then when all that crazy stuff happened in school, so Ebony was just like, wait a minute, you might be onto something, cause this ain't right. Like, what's happening to my kids? And she begged the doctors to figure something out with her kids, but they didn't. So what really? Okay, let me go back to Glen Close, because Glen Close, Alberta, was a ghetto fabulous white woman. She made sense though. She was making sense, but she had found Jesus, so she was going to church. So they had clips of her going to church, and stuff like that, and clips of the church. They also had clips of her going to chemo, and then she learned that Ebony was paying for her chemo, and then there was clips, parts where Omar Epps was in the movie too. I forgot to say that Omar Epps was in the movie, but it was just so weird because I don't. Omar was hollering at Alberta, and hey, you like it, I love it. I'm not trying to, but Alberta was like really old, right? But she was flirting. She was like showing cleavage and stuff like that. She was flirting with Omar, and then the other people in the clinic was like kind of talking about her. Like, what the fuck was the point? Like that it was my problem with this movie. There was so many points where I was just like, and why are we doing this? And this might be why I just don't watch drama, because it's just mess for mess. Like, what? How does this advance? I don't know how that advanced the story. Like, how did her? I get her going to the clinic and finding out about the chemo, but how did her getting with whatever Omar Epps' character name, I don't know what his name was, and the people talking about her like what was the point? To show she ghetto fabulous and she like young men? So like her character, and I don't know if it's because it was Glenn Close, but I probably would have thought about that for anybody. Like, why? What is the point? So that part, I was like, it was just out of place, and maybe he was trying to make a point, but it just didn't connect. Um, what's her name? Ebony. Again, they threw a birthday party. Omar Epps' character came, child. Um, um, it, it was just so weird. Anyway, and Ebony was getting drunk, and of course the oldest son was pissed. I mean, just things were just happening. But the bottom line is they had a fucked up life, a jacked up life, and I guess they were ripe, prime picking for this demon to come into their lives, and that it did. And what was the like the climax, right? Was the son, the demon in the son, killed Alberta. And I was kind of sad at that because she's over here trying to live. She got cancer. She's trying to live. Um, he didn't have to kill her, but he did. He killed Alberta, and I was like, dang. So anyway, the child they Ebony, the children were taken away from Ebony, placed in a thing, but Cynthia realized, whoa, 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 because strange stuff was happening to the children. And Cynthia was like, uh, I think Ebony's onto something because why they acting like this? Why they foaming at the mouth? Why they, sir, ma'am, somebody, what is happening to these children? So I think Cynthia was just like, wait a minute. Well, Cynthia had a whole conversation with Dre. That was the youngest son's name, Dre, and the demon. And hello, then so Ebony gets with the pastor that was trying to save her, and they pray the sinner's prayer. So Ebony gets saved. Okay, Ebony gets saved because she wants to save her children. So then she basically she goes and almost kidnaps, but she takes Dre because he's the one that's like really possessed, and the others are like, possessed by extension. So she takes Dre so that they can go to the house and perform an exorcism. Well, the lady, she ends up dying because the demon ends up killing her. And then it's Ebony and the demon showdown. But then you see the mom, then you see Alberta as a demon, and I don't know if they make up Glenn Close already. I'm gonna tell you, she was committed to this character. Let's just get that straight. She wasn't playing. She was committed to this role and all that. I don't know if the makeup, because they did demon makeup. I'm like, was that Glenn Close? Like for real? Or was that like, you know, an actress, a double or something like that? Because baby, she was demoned up. She was demoned up. But she wasn't like it was just a demon taking different forms. Eventually it gets down to the wire and Ebony does prevail. um like I said, though, the pastor dies, the demon kills her, so very sad. um but Ebony does prevail. Meanwhile, while Ebony's fighting, trying to fight the demon or whatever, the kids are over here experiencing stigmata. And nobody sees nothing. Nobody sees nothing. The one boy is just in the middle of the hallway, floating in the air. Stuff's happening to the sister. Of course, nobody sees anything. Okay. What again? Like why? Like okay. So Ebony ends up vanquishing the demon, and Cynthia was just like, yeah, I told him I mean, they're in different fosters. But I'm gonna help you get these kids back because clearly something happens here. But Ebony looked jacked up because her fighting that demon, she got messed up. Her face all banged up, like she is bruised up bad. And Cynthia probably thinking, yeah, I don't want no part of this. Something happened, and I'm gonna try to get you your babies back. They got the babies back, and then cut to 6 months later. Uh, Ebony and the babies back, and I think the dad, they well, they drive. Um, her and the dad are getting back together, which wonderful. And again, she got saved, and yada yada yada. So, solid 6 out of 10. It's just I read that he purposely wanted to show that dynamic between a white mom, um um but there wasn't no dynamic shown. Like I mean, I loved Glenn Close in the role because she committed and it was interesting, but it wasn't that interesting because whatever his purpose was, saying she she could have been whoever. There was nothing to allude to. There was no dialogue about her being. Maybe there was, and I missed it. But he said he had a purpose. I mean, it was a visual purpose, I guess, because nothing was verbalized or anything like that. That kind of missed the mark. I don't know. That whole character missed the mark to me, especially that her getting with, like, what was the point of that to show? I don't know. Um, there was a lot of background there about the abusive life that was had and things like that. I have a problem with struggle on screen anyway, which is why I don't watch certain movies anymore. Um, but yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. Take that. Go with that as you will. Take that however you want, with a grain of salt. It was a solid 6 out of 10. I would not watch it again because it's not my thing. Um, if I were to watch it again, it would only be because um the acting and the character chemistry were really good. But I wouldn't watch it again. That would be the only reason to watch it again. So 6 out of 10, The Deliverance. Uh, Share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Drop of Happy, and Light V. Thank you. Live life, live light, and stress well.